Hey, what's up everybody? I want to thank you as always for taking the time to swing by the channel for a video. I hope all is going great out in your worlds. I'm certainly doing well here because I'm breaking down Rambo Last Blood. It's the 5th entry in the franchise. Sylvester Stallone is back as the former Green Beret one more time. Adrian Grunberg is directing this sequel with Matthew Cyrilnik and Sylvester Stallone penning the screenplay. The story in this entry is set roughly 8 to 10 years after the events of the last film when we last saw Rambo returning to the family ranch back in Arizona. He now has a niece that's very much like a daughter to him, and he has seemingly put the violence of his past behind him for good, but we all know, of course, that's not going to last because there would be no last blood to spill in this sequel otherwise. His niece ends up getting into some trouble down in Mexico. John Rambo is going to have to revisit this soldier inside himself to get her back, which this time is going to bring the battle to his doorstep at home. So basically this movie is a blend of just pure 80s action with shades of the final act of Home Alone, spiced with, say, whispers of a horror movie like Cube from 1997. Now, I'll be honest, I was confident that Stallone would be capable in this role, and he certainly was once again. Like the last Rambo movie from 2008, the story didn't stretch the character past his physical capabilities too much. This film embraced the age of Stallone when crafting the ultra-violence, and the result was pretty satisfying. From the aspect of the acting and the physical acting altogether, Stallone was once again the action lead that this film needed and sold him as. But sadly, I gotta say the movie overall was a bit of a miss for me. I enjoyed it in sections, but during others, I honestly got a little bit bored from just the blatant lack of creative storytelling. The script does not spend too much time diving into the character of Rambo, but that's kind of been the trend in the franchise because we all know the days of First Blood are long gone. The troubled soldier at war within himself has been swapped out with a one-man killing machine since Rambo Part 2, and it is what it is. So for that aspect, I wasn't expecting too much in the area of the writing, yet surprisingly enough, between all the generic action movie story tropes in this one, there was a mild development to Rambo that I enjoyed, however subtle it may have been. I mean, there is a visible optimism to him, a feeling of being content that I haven't really seen from Rambo, which I really thought was a nice emotional touch. I could see some of the growth in the character as he truly did look like he had put the war behind him. But it was really brushed upon then forgotten because the overall narrative of this one felt like something much more suited for the straight-to-video rack. This was nothing more than a B-movie script that really lacked a lot of creative ambition. It felt like just an assembly line story with a collection of familiar stops that we've seen done way too many times. That's really just filled with cardboard characters that never felt authentic, so I never really connected with or could care about them. I will, though, definitely give some credit to Yvette Monreal. She probably brought the movie a heartfelt character, and despite some simplicity on the writing side, I thought she was able to pump some good emotion into the performance that was able to do a good job of grabbing onto the viewer. The villains in this one were just blatant cut and paste characters that left no lasting impression. As soon as you see these guys, you know exactly what their fate's gonna be. No intensity was created, not just because of their performances, which I did think were more than serviceable. The problem is that after about 15 minutes into this movie, you can pretty much assume where it's going to go and exactly how it's going to get there. I watched the story progress, but I never felt pulled into it, and that's something that even the last Rambo from 2008 was able to accomplish. There just never felt like a reason why this story needed to be told. I enjoyed watching Stallone in this movie, but I admittedly love Stallone. I have since I was a kid. I'll watch him in anything, and despite wanting this movie to really blow me away, it just simply did not. It does, however, have some great final act action with just endless amounts of gratuitous violence. I mean, it delivers plenty of just blood and carnage. Limbs are being chopped off, bones are being broken, and Rambo just creates a truly evil dungeon just full of bloody booby traps that would blow Kevin Callister's mind. And I'll admit, when the killing is at full speed, it's a pure joy for fans of violent action movies. It's a nod to classic Rambo-moments from the years past as well. It's just very unfortunate that the plotline pulling these bloody sequences together could bring nothing something new to the table, and I know the name Rambo is naturally going to put a lot more butts in theater seats, but still though, a couple small tweaks to this one and it could easily have not been a Rambo movie, and possibly that could have resulted in some smaller expectations for what this script eventually delivers. But I definitely think Stallone was awesome again as Rambo. He felt comfortable in the role, he was powering, he was very intimidating, he delivers a handful of nostalgically cheesy lines that are the epitome of pure action movie bravado, which really did bring a smile to my face. It's just, this movie isn't horrible by any means, it's just kind of an uninspired one. I mean, Rambo could get closure in so many different ways, and this one honestly felt like the easy route, not at all like a story that needed over a decade to be told since the last movie. It could have came out maybe a couple years after, and maybe even fared a little bit better without the decade gap. But I gotta say, on the bright side, it's less than 90 minutes, it keeps a swift pace, and it doesn't wear out its welcome. And because of the simplicity of the plot and the characters as well, the first half of the movie does drag a bit, but it isn't too long before the killing gets going, and that's when the movie is certainly at its best. The traps and the gunplay and the fight sequences are nicely shot to build a ton of intensity. I was completely locked in once this got going. The creativity in the movie is purely in the variety of how Rambo dispatches of his attackers, and for that aspect, this one was a complete success. I mean, I love the cat and mouse killing spree, and it does a little bit forgive some of the lazy writing. But overall, I was kind of let down, so I gotta give Rambo Last Blood just 70% on the entertainment meter. Stallone certainly was suited for one last round, but the storyline just felt like it delivered something from first semester creative writing, and I know who comes into Rambo looking for a character study, give the people what they want. That's Rambo killing people and reverting to his one-man army, and that's exactly what this final act provides. So, I mean, if you love the franchise, you love Sylvester Stallone, or were interested, it's definitely worth a shot, but it could maybe wait till it hits digital in a few months. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.